Welcome. Welcome back to Chat Like a Native, the deep dive. It's great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Today, we're diving into something really transformative, I think, for your English speaking.
Absolutely.
We're tackling one of the most common, honestly, one of the most frustrating things for English learners, especially if you're at that intermediate stage. You know that feeling, right? Where you understand loads, you can follow conversations, read articles, maybe even watch movies without much trouble.
Yeah, the comprehension is there.
Exactly. But then, when it's your turn to speak, quickly, spontaneously, something just blocks you.
It's like hitting a wall.
Yeah. It's like your brain takes this little detour, doesn't it? You hear something, and you figure out the perfect answer in your own language.
Right, that native language comfort zone.
And then you try to translate it, word by painful word, into English before you even speak. That whole mental translation thing.
Yeah.
It's such a fluency killer.
It absolutely is. And our sources really stress this. It's not just a tiny delay. It's a major barrier.
A barrier? Okay. How so?
Well, think about it. Every second you spend doing that translation in your head, that's time you're not speaking.
Right. It eats up time.
It eats up time. It really chips away at your confidence, too, because you're always second-guessing, checking every word.
Constantly editing before you even start.
Exactly. And the irony is, it can actually make you less clear. You might know exactly what you want to say,
Right.
but that translation process creates awkward pauses, hesitation. It stops your real thoughts from just, well, flowing out naturally in English.
Yeah.
It's really the wall between understanding something and expressing it fluently.
Okay. And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. We're looking at something super practical, really actionable. We're digging into what our sources call the 7-second brain switch.
The brain switch, yes.
It's not just theory, right?
Yeah.
It's a real strategy, and there's a live drill we'll get into later
A very powerful drill.
that promises to basically change how you speak English.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
idea isn't just speaking more or even just better grammar-wise.
No, it's deeper than that.
It's about building what the source calls automatic English, where you skip that translation step completely. Your brain just works in English when you speak.
That's the goal. Direct thought to direct speech.
And this isn't about memorizing, like, tons more grammar rules or endless vocab lists.
Definitely not. We've all done enough of that.
Right. This is about changing how your brain actually processes language for speaking. So you end up sounding more natural, feeling more confident, and being much, much clearer.
Which is what everyone wants, ultimately.
Absolutely. So, if you've ever felt stuck translating or felt your English sounds kind of unnatural or you just run out of steam in conversations, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Stick with us. It's worth it.
Okay, so let's unpack this silent saboteur, this mental translation thing. We all kind of do it instinctively when we're learning, right? It feels natural.
It does feel like the logical first step. You know one language, you want to get to another.
Build a bridge.
You try to build a bridge, exactly. But what the research shows pretty clearly is that for fluent natural speaking, that habit actually holds you back a lot.
So why? Why does it slow us down so much? What's actually happening in our brains?
That's the crucial question. And the sources point to 3 main side effects, 3 ways this habit really sabotages your fluency. The first one is what they call word-by-word mapping.
Word-by-word mapping. Okay, what's that?
Imagine trying to, build a car using instructions for building a bicycle.
Right, different blueprints entirely.
Totally different. Every language has its own structure, its own rhythm, its own way of putting words together. English word order might be completely different from your native language.
Like subject, verb, object versus something else.
Exactly. Or think about collocations, words that just naturally hang out together in English. We say heavy rain, right? Not strong rain, even if strong is the perfect translation in your head.
Or make a decision, not do a decision. Or take a break, not make a break. Those little pairings.
Precisely. Those pairings are everywhere. And then you have idioms. Forget trying to translate those literally.
Oh yeah, disaster.
Total disaster. So when you try to map word for word, you often end up with sentences that just sound, well, weird in English, unnatural, awkward.
Like wearing someone else's clothes, maybe.
That's a great way to put it. It just doesn't fit right. And this constant checking, is this the right word? Does this map correctly? It makes you hesitate. Mid-sentence pauses.
So conversations feel choppy.
Very choppy, forced. You pause, you might backtrack, you rephrase, not because your idea is complex, but because the translation is tripping you up. It kills the natural flow.
That makes total sense. You're building the sentence piece by painful piece in your head, instead of just letting it out.
Right. You're not speaking thoughts, you're assembling translations.
That effort, that mental construction work, must be exhausting, which sounds like the second side effect,
Yeah.
cognitive overload.
It is absolutely exhausting. Think about what your brain is trying to do. It's not just finding the English word. That's hard enough. It's also managing pronunciation. Am I saying this right? It's considering the tone. Is this formal enough? Casual enough?
Politeness, maybe?
Politeness, absolutely. Grammar accuracy. Remembering what you wanted to say in the first place, all at the same time.
While translating.
While actively translating. It's like juggling 5 balls while riding a unicycle and reciting the alphabet backwards.
Okay, yeah. Not sustainable.
Not sustainable at all. It's simply too many tasks for your brain to handle efficiently.
So for someone listening, how does that overload actually show up in a conversation? Is it just silence or short answers?
It shows up in a few ways. For the speaker, it often means feeling mentally drained really quickly, like you've run a marathon after a 5-minute chat.
That feeling of running out of mental breath.
Exactly that. You might give very short, clipped answers, not because you're unfriendly or don't know more, but because your brain literally can't handle the load of forming longer sentences.
And for the listener, what do they perceive?
They hear choppy speech, lots of hesitation, maybe a lack of smooth connection between ideas. It can be hard to follow your train of thought. One person in the research described it as feeling muted by my own brain.
Wow. Muted by your own brain. That's powerful.
It is. You know what you want to say, but the process itself just blocks it. It's not a recipe for fluent, easy conversation.
And I can see how focusing so hard on getting each individual word right leads straight to the third problem, which is maybe the most ironic one. Lost message.
It is deeply ironic. You're working so hard to be correct at the word level that you completely lose sight of the main goal, actually getting your message across to the listener, making yourself understood.
So you're staring so hard at the individual trees that you forget you're supposed to be describing the forest. And you don't even give the listener a path through it.
That's a perfect analogy. You forget to signpost your ideas.
Signpost, like using transition words.
Exactly. Using those crucial little phrases that guide the listener. Things like, first, I think. The reason for this is, oh, and as an example, Without those clear signals, your speech becomes harder to follow, even if every single word is technically correct.
Because the listener is trying to figure out the connection between your points.
They're left guessing the structure of your thought. The source material really hammers this home. Conveying your idea, your point, making it understandable is so much more important than perfect word-for-word accuracy.
Your listener wants to get your meaning, not grade your grammar.
Precisely. They want communication, not a linguistic performance.
Okay, so putting it all together, the message is pretty clear. Trying to translate in your head slows you down, tires you out, and can even make you less clear.
That's the bottom line.
And the solution isn't more rules, more lists.
No, the cure isn't more the same medicine that isn't working.
It's a fundamental shift. It's about changing the whole process.
It's about changing how you approach speaking, switching gears entirely.
And that's where this 7-second brain switch comes in. You mentioned it's framed as a direct solution.
Yes, it's presented as the core strategy to break that translation habit. Think of it as creating a deliberate micro-planning window right before you speak.
Micro-planning window. I like that. It sounds intentional, not just pausing awkwardly.
It is very intentional. It's not dead air. It's active preparation time.
So let's break down these 7 seconds. It's not just counting, right? It's split into parts. First up, second 02. Catch the topic and goal.
Right. This first bit is super quick, but really crucial for redirecting your brain. The goal here is simple. Silently label the question or the comment you just heard with one single word.
Just one word, like a keyword.
Exactly. A keyword that captures the essence. So if someone asks, when's the report due? You silently think deadline. If they ask, what are you doing Saturday? You think weekend plans. How do I fix the printer? Becomes instructions.
Okay, one core concept word. Why is that so important? It seems almost too simple.
Its power lies in immediately stopping your brain from doing what it wants to do, which is jump straight into finding vocabulary in your native language to translate.
It short-circuits the translation habit.
Precisely. By forcing yourself to just find that one label, you shift your focus from specific words to the overall idea or concept. You're not thinking, how do I say report in English? You're thinking about the concept of deadline. It creates that mental space you need.
Okay, that makes sense. You grab the core idea first. So you've got your label. You sidestep the translation trap. What happens in the next phase, seconds 3 through 7? Choose a simple three-part speaking frame.
This is where you build the structure for your response, and the source gives a beautifully simple and effective frame. Position, reason, example.
Position, reason, example. Okay, seems logical.
It is. It provides a clear, logical flow that's easy for you to construct and, crucially, easy for your listener to follow. You're not just rambling. You're presenting a structured thought.
Can you give those examples from the source again? How does it work in practice?
Sure. For position, you state your main point clearly. Like, I think we should move it to Monday. Simple, direct.
Okay, position stated.
Then reason. You explain why. Because the vendor needs more time. Provides the logic.
Got it. Why you think that?
And finally, example. You add some concrete evidence or illustration. Last time we rushed and had errors. This makes it tangible, relatable.
Position, move to Monday. Reason, vendor needs time. Example, rushing caused errors last time. Wow, that's instantly so much clearer and more persuasive than just saying, no, Friday's bad.
Exactly. It provides a complete, reasoned thought unit. Even if you stumble a bit on a word here or there, the structure itself carries the meaning forward. People can follow the logic.
And you're saying this planning, choosing this frame, happens in those seconds 3 to 7.
Yes, that's the micro-planning window. You identify the topic, then you quickly slot your basic ideas into that position, reason, example structure in your head.
Now, about those 7 seconds, does it always have to be 7 seconds? That feels like it could be a long pause in a fast conversation.
That's a really important point. The 7 seconds is a training number. It's a guideline to help you build the habit of pausing and planning at all.
So it's like training wheels.
Exactly like training wheels. When you first start, you might need the full 7 seconds, maybe even a bit more, and that's okay. Use a filler phrase like, let me think, to bridge the gap. But with practice, as this becomes more automatic,
It gets faster.
much faster, that planning window can shrink down to maybe 2 or 3 seconds for many everyday responses. The crucial thing isn't hitting exactly 7 seconds. It's the deliberate act of pausing to plan, however briefly, instead of just blurting out a translation.
So the pause itself is the key, the intention to structure your thought.
Yes. That pause is where you stop translating words and start assembling ideas using the English you already know.
Which links back to that idea of chunks you mentioned earlier. You're not inventing sentences from scratch. You're grabbing pre-made phrases.
Precisely. You're accessing your mental chunk bank, those phrases, collocations, sentence starters you've learned, and assembling them within that PRE frame.
Which is really encouraging because it means you likely already have a lot of the building blocks you need. You just need this system to put them together effectively.
That's absolutely right. You know more than you think. This switch helps you use it.
Okay, this is fantastic. Theory is great, but practice is where it happens. You mentioned a live drill from the source. Let's get into that. How can people actually practice this 7-second switch?
Yes, the drill is designed to build that muscle memory, to make this process automatic. It's got 7 distinct steps, and each one is important.
7 steps. Okay, let's walk through them. Step 1.
Step 1, warm up, just for about a minute. The idea is to get comfortable with pausing productively. So you say 5 starter fillers out loud.
Starter fillers, like what?
Things like, good question, let me think, or give me a moment. All right, here's how I see it. From my side, as I understand it, just saying them out loud gets you used to using them.
So these aren't ums and uhs. They're actual phrases that buy you time politely.
Exactly. The source calls them professional pause phrases. They signal you're thinking, not struggling. In many situations, a thoughtful pause with one of these is much better than awkward silence or rushing into a mistake. It maintains the flow.
Okay, warm up done. Step 2.
Step 2. Listen and label. This takes just about 2 seconds mentally. You play or imagine a short question being asked. Then instantly you label the core topic with that single keyword we talked about.
So question, can we push the deadline? Label, deadline, question, weekend plans, label, plans.
Precisely. Quick, automatic categorization. This reinforces that first step of the switch, stopping the immediate translation urge and focusing on the core idea. It's a mental redirection.
Got it. Step 3.
Step 3, 7-second plan. Now you actually do the count, slowly to 7 in your head. During this time, you choose your 3-part frame, position, reason, example, and crucially, you also pick one signpost phrase for each part.
Signpost again, like I think,
Yeah.
for position.
Exactly. Position signpost could be, I think, my view is, we should. Reason signposts. Because the main reason is example signposts, for example. For instance, in practice. Picking these helps structure your upcoming speech even more clearly.
So you're not just planning the content, but also how you'll introduce each piece.
Yes, it makes your delivery much smoother and easier for the listener to track. It's like putting up little road signs for them.
Makes sense. Step 4.
Step 4. Speak your 3 parts. Now you actually say your answer out loud. Aim for about 20 to 30 seconds total. Keep each part position, reason, example pretty concise, maybe just 1 or 2 sentences each.
Using that deadline example.
Right. It might sound like, okay, let me think. Pause phrase. I think we should move the deadline to Monday. Position. The main reason is the vendor asked for another day to test. Reason. For example, last time we shipped on Friday and had 3 ticket issues. Example.
And then you.
Stop.
No adding extra stuff.
And then you stop.
Yeah.
Resist the urge to ramble. Conciseness and clarity are key here. The frame gives you a natural endpoint.
Okay. What's step 5?
Step 5. Check understanding. This takes just about 5 seconds. After you've given your PRE answer, you ask a quick question to engage the listener and make sure you were clear.
Like what kind of question?
Simple things like, does that make sense? How does that sound? What do you think? Or, in our example, would Monday work for you?
That turns it back into a conversation. It shows you care if they understood.
Exactly. It builds rapport, confirms clarity, and invites them to respond. It makes the interaction feel collaborative.
Very important. Okay, step 6.
Step 6, repair moves. This is about having strategies ready for when things don't go perfectly. Because they won't always. You might get stuck, miss something, forget a word.
The panic moments. What can you do?
The source gives great, polite options. You can ask them to repeat slowly. Could you say that again? Maybe a bit more slowly. You can confirm meaning. So just to check, you mean the Q3 report, right?
Yeah.
If you forget a word, describe it. Can't recall the name. It's the thing that connects the projector to the laptop.
Instead of just freezing?
Exactly. Or you can rephrase your own idea if you feel it wasn't clear. Hang on, let me put that another way. Basically, delivery on Monday is just safer.
These aren't signs of failure then, they're just communication tools.
They are absolutely tools. Professional communication tactics. Using them shows you're actively managing the conversation and prioritizing clarity, which builds confidence, actually.
That's a great perspective. Okay, last step. Step 7.
Step 7. Record and reflect. Spend about a minute on this. Record yourself doing the drill. Just use your phone. Then listen back and ask yourself those specific questions from the source. Did I actually use the position, reason, example frame? Did I use signposts clearly? If I got stuck, did I use a repair move politely?
Being your own coach.
Exactly. Self-observation is incredibly powerful. You start to notice your patterns, see what's working, identify where you need more practice. It reinforces the good habits and helps you tweak your approach. You can repeat the whole drill cycle multiple times in a practice session.
Wow. That whole drill, start to finish, seems designed to really rewire things. It's not just about saying words, it's about building a whole new process for speaking English directly.
That's precisely the goal. Building muscle memory for direct English communication, systematically bypassing the translation habit.
And you mentioned earlier that a key part of this direct communication is using chunks. Let's talk more about those. These ready-made phrases are the building blocks.
They really are. Think of them as prefabricated components for your sentences. Using chunks is how you start to sound more natural, more fluid, because native speakers rely on them constantly without even thinking about it. It reduces the processing load.
So instead of building every single sentence from tiny individual word bricks, you're using larger, pre-assembled sections.
A perfect analogy. And the source material handily categorizes these chunks, making it easier to collect and practice them. We can go through those categories.
Yeah, let's do that. This sounds super practical for listeners wanting to build their own chunk bank. What's the first category? A, starting your answer.
These are your launch pads. Phrases that give you a smooth start while you're activating your 7-second plan. Things like, from my perspective, as I understand it, the way I see it is. Or even just, well, or, okay, so.
They sound professional and give you that tiny moment to think.
Exactly. They bridge the silence productively. Next category, B, giving reasons. Essential for that R in our PRE frame.
Right, explaining the why.
Yes. Having these ready means you don't stumble when justifying your position. Think of, the main reason is, this is because, it's mainly due to, or simply because, they signal the logical connection clearly.
Makes your argument stronger. Okay, category C, examples and clarifications.
Crucial for the E, making your point concrete. Obvious ones are, for example, and for instance, but also useful are phrases like, in other words, if you want to rephrase something or to be more specific, if you need to add detail.
Helps the listener really grasp what you mean.
Good.
Next, D, checking understanding.
This loops back to step 5 of the drill, keeping the listener engaged and ensuring clarity. Simple phrases like, is that clear? Does that make sense? Are you with me so far? Or should I clarify anything?
Keeps it interactive. Okay, E, polite requests and softeners. This sounds really important for sounding, well, nice.
It's incredibly important, especially in English and in many professional or cross-cultural contexts. Direct commands can sound quite blunt or even rude. Softeners make your requests or statements much more palatable.
So instead of send the file,
You'd say, could you please send the file? Oh, would you mind sending the file? Or maybe, I was wondering if you could send the file. And if you have to say no or disagree, I'm afraid that's not possible right now, or I see your point, but from my perspective, these little changes make a huge difference in how you're perceived.
definitely smoother.
Oh.
Okay, the last category is interesting. F, replacing idioms jargon with international English. Why replace idioms if we want to sound native?
That's the counterintuitive part, right? But the source makes a strong case for intelligibility over sounding like a specific type of native speaker, especially in international environments, which are so common now.
Because not everyone knows the same idioms.
Exactly. An idiom that's common in London might completely confuse someone in Singapore or Toronto, or even someone from a different region in the US. The advice is to favor clear, universally understood language over potentially obscure slang or business jargon.
You give some examples of jargon to maybe avoid?
Sure, instead of saying going forward, just say in the future. Replace kick off a meeting with start the meeting. Instead of push back a deadline, say delay it. Rather than giving a ballpark estimate, just give an estimate or a rough estimate.
So clarity beats cleverness, especially globally.
Clarity is king. The ultimate goal is being easily understood by the widest possible audience. Using clear, straightforward chunks reduces confusion for your listener and actually reduces your own cognitive load, too. You don't have to worry if they'll understand your specific idiom. You're building a reliable, effective communication toolkit.
That makes a lot of sense. Prioritize getting your message across clearly.
That's the core principle.
Okay, to really hammer this home, let's look at those mini dialogues from the source. Seeing the 7-second switch and these chunks in action in different real-world situations really helps make it concrete.
Absolutely. Context is everything. Let's take that first one. 1, workplace planning. Your manager asks, can we launch on Friday? The pressure's on.
Right. Instead of freezing or just saying, maybe,
Yeah.
you use the switch. Pause, label, launch date, plan, PRE.
Exactly. And your response using chunks might be, let me check. Pause. Actually, I think Monday is safer. Position. The main reason is the vendor needs more testing time. Reason. For example, last Friday we had 3 last-minute fixes right before launch. Example, would Monday work? Check.
That sounds so competent. Clear position, solid reason, concrete example, polite check. It manages expectations, offers a solution, much better than a hesitant maybe.
It shows professionalism, foresight, and clear thinking. It builds confidence, both yours and your manager's confidence in you.
Okay, example 2. Customer support call. Customer says, my internet keeps dropping. This could get technical and confusing fast.
Right. Here, politeness and clarity are key, and you can use a frame to guide the conversation, even to get information from them.
How would that sound?
Maybe something like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Politeness. Could you please describe what happens right before it drops? Eliciting info, implicit position, need info. For example, does the light on the router change color? Example clarification.
Okay, gathering data first. Let's say the customer says, yes, it turns red.
Then you continue. Okay, thanks for that detail. I think we should try resetting the router position. The reason is that a red light often indicates a temporary line issue. Reason. For instance, a quick reset frequently clears that up. Example. Shall we try that together now? Check proposal.
That's brilliant. It's calm, clear, explains the why without jargon, and proposes a next step collaboratively. It avoids just barking technical instructions.
Exactly. It builds trust and guides them step by step, focusing on solving the problem together. The structure keeps it logical and easy to follow, even for a potentially stressed customer.
Love it. Okay, final example. 3. Social chat. Just a friend asking, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Does the PRE structure still apply here? It feels a bit formal.
It still applies, but it becomes much more streamlined and natural, almost invisible. You still give your position, your plan, maybe a brief reason why, and perhaps a tiny example, a detail, then turn it back.
So how might that sound?
It's super simple. Oh, hey, I'm meeting family on Saturday. Position, because my sister's visiting. Reason.
We'll probably grab lunch by the river or something. Example detail. How about you? What are your plans? Check turn taking.
See, that just sounds like a normal, friendly answer. It doesn't feel forced at all. It shows the frame is flexible.
Totally flexible. It can be really brief and casual, but it still gives your answer structure, makes it easy to understand, and crucially, includes that question back to keep the conversation flowing naturally.
These examples really drive it home. It's not a rigid robot formula. It's a adaptable mental framework for clear communication in pretty much any situation.
That's the beauty of it. It empowers clear, confident, and connected conversation.
Okay, this is all incredibly helpful. But you said earlier it's not magic. It takes practice. This isn't a one-time fix.
Definitely not. Like any skill, building fluency and changing ingrained habits requires consistent effort.
And the source provides that 1-week practice loop, just 15 minutes a day, to really embed this. Yes, that loop is designed for consistency. It breaks down the practice into manageable daily chunks, focusing on different aspects throughout the week. It's about those tiny, consistent wins.
Let's quickly go through that weekly schedule. What happens on day 1 and 2?
Days 1 and 2 have 3 parts. First, authentic listening, 5 to 7 minutes. Listen to a short, real English clip, news, vlog, podcast snippet. First for the main idea, then again specifically to find and note down maybe 3 reusable chunks you hear.
Actively mining for those phrases.
Exactly. Then shadowing, 3 minutes. Play 20-30 seconds of the same clip and speak along with it, trying to match rhythm, stress, intonation. Do it twice, helps internalize the sound and flow.
Getting the music of the language.
Right. And finally, response drill, 5 minutes. Imagine a question related to the clip. Apply your 7-second plan, label, PRE, signposts, and answer out loud, trying to use a chunk you noted earlier. Connects listening to speaking.
So listen, imitate, apply. Okay. What about day 3 and 4?
Day 3 and 4 focus on the politeness upgrade. 10 minutes. Take some direct sentences. For example, I need the report, and rewrite them using softeners. Could I possibly get the report by tomorrow? Record both versions. Listen back. And notice the difference in tone.
Training your ear and mouth for diplomacy.
Precisely. It's about understanding the impact of those softening phrases.
That's 5.
Day 5 is repair practice, 10 minutes. Actively role-play getting stuck or confused. Practice using 3 specific repair moves out loud, asking to repeat slowly, confirming meaning, rephrasing your own idea. Builds confidence for real-life hiccups.
Like practicing emergency drills. Hope you don't need them, but glad you know them.
Exactly. Then day 6, live test, 10-15 minutes. Try to have a real conversation with someone, a friend, language partner. Tell them you're practicing this technique. Afterwards, ask for feedback. Was I clear? Did the structure work? How did it sound?
Getting that crucial real-world feedback. Invaluable. And finally, day 7, reflection, 10 minutes. Listen back to any recordings you made during the week. Count how often you use the frame or signposts. Identify maybe 3 chunks you want to really focus on using next week. It cements the learning and sets goals.
That whole loop sounds incredibly thorough, but manageable in just 15 minutes a day. It really targets different skills each day.
It's designed for cumulative effect. Small, consistent steps lead to big improvements over time. It's about building the habit.
Okay, this framework seems solid. The practice plan makes sense. But let's address the anxieties. People will run into problems or feel awkward trying this. What does the source say about troubleshooting common hurdles?
Yeah, anticipating those roadblocks is key so you don't get discouraged. The first big one is usually 7 seconds feels awkward.
We touched on this. It feels like a long silence.
It does initially. The solution, use those polite fillers. Let me think about that. That's a good question. It buys you time gracefully. And remember, with practice, that 7 seconds shrinks naturally. The awkwardness is temporary. Okay, what about the classic panic? I forget words. Everyone hates that feeling.
It's awful. The key advice: don't stop and desperately search for the perfect word while the conversation grinds to a halt. Instead, describe the word or concept.
Circumlocution, right? Talking around it.
Exactly. I need the thing you use to connect the computer to the screen, or it's like a small round plug for charging. Often, the listener will immediately supply the word HDMI cable, USB-C, and the conversation flows on. Describe, don't freeze.
Good tip. Another big worry. My accent gets in the way. People feel self-conscious.
Very common. The source is really encouraging here. Your accent is part of you. The goal isn't accent elimination, it's intelligibility. Focus on being understood.
How? What specific things help intelligibility?
Stressing the important words in a sentence. Maintaining a reasonably steady rhythm, not too fast or jerky. Linking words together smoothly where appropriate. Clarity over mimicking a specific native accent is the achievable and more valuable goal.
Makes sense. What if the problem isn't you, but them? Native speakers talk too fast.
Also very common. The solution is simple, but takes a little courage. Ask them politely to adjust. Sorry, could you speak a little more slowly, or could you possibly repeat the last part?
And people are usually okay with that.
Most reasonable people are absolutely fine with it, even appreciative that you're making the effort to understand properly. It's a normal communication strategy, not a failure on your part. Just ask politely.
Good to know. Last one. I panic and ramble. You start talking and just can't stop, maybe saying the same thing over and over.
This often happens when we feel unsure. The solution here is to trust the frame. Stick rigorously to position, reason, example, check, question. Deliver those parts concisely, ask your check question, and then stop.
Let the structure be your safety net.
Exactly. The frame gives you a clear beginning, middle, and end. It prevents you from spiraling off into rambling. Say your piece, then pause and wait for the response. Discipline is key.
These are all such common feelings. It's great to have concrete strategies from the source to handle them. It makes the whole process seem less daunting.
Knowing how to handle the bumps in the road is just as important as knowing the main path. It keeps you moving forward.
So let's bring this all together. We've gone deep into why translating hurts fluency, how the 7-second switch works, the drill, the chunks, the practice loop, the troubleshooting. What's the ultimate message for someone listening right now ready to chat like a native?
I think the core message is fundamentally liberating. Breaking free from that translate then speak habit isn't about adding more rules or pressure onto yourself. It's not about achieving some mythical perfection.
It's about subtraction almost, removing a bad habit.
In a way, yes. It's about creating that small, intentional space, that pause. It's about leveraging the language you already have, using those chunks effectively. And most importantly, it's about shifting your mental energy entirely away from constructing flawless sentences and towards simply communicating your ideas clearly and connecting with the person you're talking to.
Focusing on connection over correction.
Beautifully put. Connection over correction. That's the heart of it. It frees up so much mental energy and allows your actual thoughts and personality to come through in English.
So here's the final challenge for everyone listening. Take that speaking checklist we've built up. Pause to plan. Position. Reason. Example. Signposts. Check understanding. Repair moves. Maybe jot it down, put it near your computer on your phone, make it visible.
A constant reminder.
And then really commit. Use it in your conversations this week. Do the live drill, even just for a few minutes. Record yourself if you can bear it, and just observe. Notice what starts to change.
And maybe just take a moment to imagine it. Imagine your conversations where your brain doesn't take that translation detour, where you hear something, you pause briefly, you plan, and then you speak your thoughts directly in English. How much more confident would you feel? How much more spontaneous? How much more won you?
That feeling of the words just flowing naturally.
Exactly. That feeling of truly connecting and expressing yourself without that internal struggle. That's the potential here. It's not about overnight miracles, but this shift in process, this deliberate switch, can unlock so much fluency and confidence over time. It's a powerful change to make.
A fantastic thought to end on. Thank you so much for walking us through all of that, and thanks to all of you for joining us for this deep dive.
Our pleasure.
We really hope you put these strategies into practice, starting today. Give that 7-second switch a try. See what happens. We'll be back soon with more insights and strategies right here on Chat Like a Native, The Deep Dive.